So I'm sharing with you the number one way to nurture the relationships with your students that most yoga teachers ignore. Okay. So the relationship that you have with your students and your community, your audience, is one of the most important areas of your business. And this relationship extends beyond the yoga mat. Okay. And a relationship becomes a relationship because a connection has been nurtured. Okay. That connection, that initial connection that you have with someone is being nurtured, and that's how you build the relationship. And one of the reasons why many businesses will fail is because they don't do this, right? It's because they don't nurture relationships with their customers. And what this means is that when people are coming into their world, okay, so as a new lead, i.e. a new potential customer, okay, and in your case, for yoga teachers here watching and listening, a new potential student, that business is not communicating to them on a consistent basis, okay, which means that it's not nurturing the relationship and it's not taking that relationship any further. And that's one of the key reasons why businesses will fail. So before we kind of dive into this further, I just want to talk about what it means to nurture, okay? What is the definition of nurture, okay? And I've grabbed this from the dictionary. So the dictionary says to nurture as a verb, right? To nurture as a verb is to care for and protect someone or something whilst they are growing, okay? And the noun is the action or process of nurturing someone or something, okay? So there you have the dictionary definition of what it means to actually nurture, and it's to care for, and it's to protect something whilst it's growing. Okay. And what is it that you are growing and cultivating? New people that come into your business. In marketing terminology, we call that person a lead. And so how do you cultivate that relationship? How do you do that? You do it through communication. Okay. When you communicate with the goal to nurture, okay, when you're communicating through social media and other online channels, and the goal of that communication is to nurture that relationship, what you do is you create credibility, okay? You create credibility and you create trust. And it's that trust that allows you to actually lead to sales, okay? It allows you to create sales in your business, okay? You cannot make sales without trust. So in order to actually survive as a business, what we need to do is we need to firstly generate leads, okay? And you do that through your marketing activities. You use marketing communication to move people, those new leads, through your marketing funnels, okay? And marketing communication is essentially communicating the problem that you solve, right? You're communicating the problem that you solve through your attraction content, and then you're moving those leads, those people, those new people who have just discovered you and come into your space, into your world, those potential paying students, you're moving them through your funnel, okay? Imagine the funnel, and you're using your nurture content, okay? This is where your nurture content comes into play. And this is where most people are getting this wrong, okay? Because what they're doing is they're focusing just on social media. And social media is great. You definitely need to be using it. It's really great for that top of funnel. Okay. So for example, Reels. Okay. Reels is your top of funnel content. You're scrolling in the Reels feed, right? So you're watching a reel and then you flick it up and the next reel comes along. A lot of those reels are not from people that you are following, right? You're in that explore reels feed essentially, and you'll be seeing reels that are, the topic of those reels are relevant to you, right? They are targeted at you because of the algorithm, right? Instagram knows what you consume. It knows what you're interested in. And so you have an opportunity to also be in somebody's reel feed. And this is why it's top of funnel, because it's awareness. It's where you can actually, be shown to people in your space who might be interested in what you are communicating. Okay. And this is why we say that's a top of funnel type of content that can be used to attract people into your world. And so, if you're not strategic about what you then do, about how you capture that person, they could watch your reel and then you never see them again. Okay. And they never see you again. And so the key to figuring this out, to how to truly attract them into your world, is to present them with some kind of solution that they actually opt in for. Okay. And that's a big, big guess. That's a big, big clue, even. That's a big clue right there as to what this is that I'm talking about today, what this topic is that I'm talking about today, which, of course, is the number one way to nurture student relationships that most yoga teachers are ignoring, because most yoga teachers are focused on the bright lights of Instagram, which, as I said, is definitely a marketing channel that you need in your toolbox, but we need to be thinking strategically, and we need to be thinking in funnels, essentially. Bring people in, and then what do we do? What do we do next to move them through the funnel with our content that allows us to actually nurture the relationships towards a sale? Right, towards a sale. And so think about the shape of a funnel. Okay, it's the widest at the top, right? It's wide at the top, and then it goes down to the right down to the very, very end, right, where it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And that's because at the top, you can capture lots of people with that attraction content. Lots of people might see your reels, but only a certain number are going to do something, right? Are going to take an action, are going to opt in, right? And then we're going to move them down, and only a certain percentage at the end will convert into a sale, right? But it's your content that allows you to do that, to move people through. And a lot of people will, fall off, they'll come out of the funnel. But your role is to really use your content strategically. Your job is to use your content strategically to move people through. And a lot of the time people are just thinking, share content on social media, and we're not thinking strategically about why we're actually sharing this content. So it's at this point, when you provide some kind of quick win, some kind of solution that people are opting in for, it's at this point that you can start to nurture that relationship. And of course, the opt-in that I'm talking about is your email opt-in freebie, right? Yes, lots of you in the Facebook group, freebie, opt-in freebie. Exactly. It's your email opt-in freebie, or your lead magnet. Okay, there's a number of different names that you might hear it being called, but essentially that's what it is. It's a piece of really valuable content that you share with your community in exchange for their email address, right? And those of you who are on my email list, you'll have got onto my email list because you've opted in for a piece of content. So that's you. Share in the comment, what did you opt in for? What piece of content did you get in exchange for giving me your email address? Let me know. And you'll hear marketers say, the money is in the list. And it's so true, right? The bigger your list, the more opportunities you have to make a sale. And, that's the reality. That is the reality. So what should we do with that? Well, of course, we need to consistently work on growing our email list. And your email list is actually your community. Like, it's a space where you own the details, the contact details of your community, not Instagram, right? Not Facebook, your email list. It's one of the most important and valuable assets in your business. And there's a direct correlation between the growth of your email list and the growth of your bank account. So the problem with this is that if you grow your list and you don't do anything with that list other than send out the odd email here and there, then you're missing out on a huge opportunity to actually nurture those relationships with the people on your list. Notice an important distinction there. Notice how I said people, not subscribers. I said people. Each and every person, right, who has subscribed to your email list, they want to receive your emails. Like, they want to be part of your world. Like, they've actively opted in given you their email address. And so if you don't communicate with them, if you don't actually send them emails, then not only are you missing out on the opportunity to nurture the relationship, okay, towards making that sale, but you're also doing them a disservice, aren't you? Because you're not providing them with the thing that they signed up for, okay, which of course is communication from you, okay? And then we're not serving them, we're not meeting their expectations. And when we don't meet our community's expectations, what happens? They lose trust in us, okay? So you've got to communicate consistently with those people on your email list. Communication is super, super important. Like, that is what's going to keep their attention. That is how you build the relationship. That is how you nurture the relationship. And, the money is in the list. Definitely the money's in the list, but you've got to nurture, you've got to cultivate, you've got to grow. Okay. You've got to grow that list. You've got to grow the relationships in order to, get the benefits, essentially. So make sure you're showing up in their inbox every week. Make sure they can see your name in their inbox every single week. They can see your name. It's that recognition. It's the repetition, actually, that causes the recognition, right? The repetition every single week helps to create that recognition. So this is where your email marketing plan comes in, right? This is where we need to have a plan. Do we love planning in this community? Do we love planning? Tell me. So a simple spreadsheet, right? But this is really, when you understand who you're serving, when you understand the problem that you solve, when you understand, who is that person that is interested in what you have to offer, that you can support them in their journey towards where they are now, from where they are now towards where they want to be, that desire. What is the problem that you can help to solve? And, when you've done that work, when you know who you're serving, you know the content that you need to be sharing with them, right? You know how to speak to them. And so having an email marketing plan and, a plan of different topics that you're going to share every single week becomes a lot easier. When we don't know who we're serving, we struggle with content. So that's a kind of flag for you there, guys. If you're struggling with your content creation, if you're struggling with, what to share on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, maybe you're on TikTok, LinkedIn. I mean, there's so many different platforms, YouTube. If you're struggling with, the emails that you send out, if you're struggling with, what to create, what offerings to create, workshops, or maybe you want to create a membership, but you don't really know, how to kind of make it specific, right? That's important, isn't it? You don't really know the topics that you want to share, or maybe you want to create an online course, but you're feeling stuck. It always comes back to that piece of work around niching and truly understanding who it is that you serve. Because when you do that, then actually all of these other decisions around content and offerings that you create become so much easier. Like, they become so much easier. It becomes almost a no-brainer when you know who you're serving. Okay. So I want you just to imagine something for a moment, right? I want you to imagine something for a moment and maybe close your eyes. Like, let's have a little bit of fun with this, but maybe just close your eyes. You have an email list of 500 people. Okay. These people have signed up for your freebie. They've then gone through an automated email sequence of maybe 5, 6, 8, 10 emails that have been automatically sent out over 2 or 3 weeks, let's say. Some of those people have enrolled in your online course, your evergreen course that you have available all year round, every day of the year. And they've come into your course as a result of one of those emails in the sequence. That's money coming in whilst you're sleeping or whatever you might be doing. And maybe you're at a yoga class. Now they're receiving your weekly email. Maybe some weeks they get 2 emails. They know you, they like you, they trust you. Sometimes they reply back to you. They ask you about your upcoming course. They ask you about your membership or your workshops. you get a back and forth on email, some more people enroll from those back and forth conversations that you've been having. When you launch something new, these are the people, you start to see these names coming through, people that you've been having email conversations with, people who's, when you go into ConvertKit or whatever system you're using, you see those emails you see those people, those subscribers as subscribers who open up your emails regularly, people who open your emails. And, when you launch something new, they're the people who join, right? They're the people who pay you. You start to realize that the money is in your list. And your email list is your greatest, most valuable marketing asset. And so it makes you want to work even harder on it. You're motivated to work hard to keep creating that content that you can share to your list every single week. And you focus on that. You focus on nurturing your list because that's where the sales are coming from. This can be a reality, right? This is a reality in my business. This is the type of system that the students in our programs are implementing in their businesses. Like, this can be your reality too. And it starts with you having a freebie, an opt-in freebie, that valuable piece of content. And I don't mean just, a 20-minute morning flow. That's not going to cut it anymore. And I also don't mean sign up to my newsletter. That definitely won't cut it. People don't sign up for tips and tricks. They want a quick win that's specific. Yeah, specific quick win for a specific type of person. This again goes back to the niche work, understanding, who it is that you're serving. If you're stuck with that, guys, come and join us inside Yogipreneur Launchpad. Okay, this is our evergreen program. It's a 6-month program, takes you through all of these foundations. Okay, you don't need to be stuck with any of this. We have support for you. But it does start with your freebie. Okay, it starts with your opt-in freebie. I've done trainings on this on the podcast. You can go and have a listen if you want to learn more about email marketing. Of course, if you want to go even deeper and you want to learn how to implement the systems and the automations, Yogipreneur Launchpad is the program for you. Perfect. Wonderful stuff. So that's all I have for you today.